soldiers. They have all kinds of multiple roles that are very difficult to negotiate and navigate. So, right. All right. So we're in comm theory. So we'll close by thinking about this today. And I'm not going to break into groups. I'm going to do this as a full class. But here's the point that we've got to get to at each class. Given your focus of interest in this class, so PR, organizational comm, managerial comm, family communication, advocacy, whatever your thing is, how do these theories change or shape the way you practice your communication work? This is where we've got to end up. And this is what you're trying to do in your service learning project. You're going to go into a situation where they say, well, here's our problem around here. We like to think we have an equal playing field, but our women are constantly telling us that they're at a disadvantage here in this workplace. And can you do anything about that? Do you have any theories about women and communication in the organizational workplace? You say, yeah, I do. I've got a couple theories that we could think about. Telling some stories that within the organization. We could look at what kind of language is used in this organization, and maybe introduce some new terms that would change the way people perceive. So you as a communication theorist have the ability to tie in silence, spiral of silence, standpoint theory, adaptive group structure, muted group theory into some kind of a setting. And think about it. So let's just spend a couple minutes. What's your focus of interest, and where does either muted group theory or standpoint theory make it possible for you to change or shape something about communication? Let's go ahead.
Just from like a business setting, if you're in a meeting and there's someone that keeps quiet, or they might have the best idea out of everybody, but because it's different than what other people are thinking, they're not going to say it. So you should try and bring that out of them.
Okay, so as a communication theorist, you see a problem with a silent team member, and so you want to somehow say, well, you may have a standpoint that's different. You may see something we don't see, and we value that. We want that to be brought out. So there's an application of theory to a comm experience, which is what your writings are meant to be about. You're meant to be doing this.
I'm a public relations major, so I feel like standpoint theory, definitely plays a big part in what I do as a public relations practitioner, whatever.
Okay.
Because you have to understand where people are coming from and try and see what their background might have been in order to successfully communicate with them.
Right, so if you're designing a marketing project for people in some different settings, you need to understand the way they're experiencing the world. Yeah, I remember this. Most of you won't remember this with infant milk formula. The Nestle's problem in India some years ago. Prue would remember, some of us would remember this. The Nestle's company went to India to market baby formula instead of women breastfeeding babies, and they made this whole big push, and kids were getting sick all over the place because the women in India were mixing the formula with puddle water. And so now all of a sudden you've got a public crisis because they're not breastfeeding anymore, so they can't go back and now you've got to do this whole thing about clean water. So yeah, so you got to experience the world a little differently. Ken?
I was going to say on public relations as well, and in PR writing, the muted group theory would help because it's like a focus on language.
Focus on language.
Really considering what language you use, and maybe targeting certain language towards certain groups depending on what you're writing about or who you're writing to, whether you want to keep it open or whether you're targeting a specific audience.
Yeah. It'd be very focused on the language that this group is using and what kind of prejudices are embedded in that language.
So what would you write, like 2 different letters?
Well, that's called niche marketing. Yeah,
So like females and males of the company? Is
you
that-
might.
And that's
yeah.
fair?
A lot of,
See a complaint coming from a
what's that?
Sex
Or maybe
letter.
if it's one woman, you might just think that, but if it's like the equal, I guess, if it's 2 different things. you might-
Yeah, I mean, it's the end. Those of you in PR, I'm reading stuff. The stuff I read these days talks about the end of mass media and the end of the mass market. That we're in a post-mass market, post-mass media world. And we're into niche marketing and niche medias, where you're targeting small groups that share particular values and use particular language. And use visual imagery, particular visual imagery too. Style and design, major issue today. I mean, this is semiotically, this is a template in Mac's Keynote program. And it's a very simple, clean design, right? And this would be considered a contemporary kind of visual image to use. They have, it's very interesting to play with their templates and see the way it changes the presentation to use a different visual style. Not only a language style, but a visual style as well. So we'll do more of that. All right, I'm going to quit. And you've got 2 more theories for next week. Come prepared to be asked about them. And
Send you a thing on Friday again?
yeah, send me a reflection. And start looking for a journal article that relates to your area of interest. Let me just check people here. Lisa didn't make it back. And Laura Schwamberger, Laura's here. Andrea Rambusik, okay, that's the other one, didn't make it back. All right.